Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chord Dave, and today it's Chord Dave Live number 124. Thanks for joining me, and glad to see you. Happy Saturday and all that sort of stuff. It's 10 p.m. here in Ireland. There's a massive head on this beer, so I guess we better start drinking it and then topping it up as we go along. Wherever you are in the world, launch it to you, my friend. Yes, yes, indeed. Today's beer is the Journeyman by it's a session IPA from the Journeyman. I don't know. I had one of their other beers a few weeks ago. It was okay. This one, hoping for better results. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, lots of stuff to talk about. Like Taylor Swift voted the 8th best guitarist of the last 20 years. That's a true story. That was the report this week. We'll see what you guys think of that. I have a feeling most of you will not agree with that, but we'll see how it goes. There might be some Swifties. Anyways, let's get into it. Get into the chat, see how we get on. We're here for about an hour and a half. And we're going to see how we feel at that point. Lots of good stuff to talk about. Hopefully you all saw this week's video about the possibility of a Gibson Brian May signature guitar in the near future. I don't know if I'm excited about it or not. Let me know what you think on the chat. We can talk about it. Any Queen fans? I'm sure many, of course, but we'll see how it goes. Anyways, let's dig into the chat. Thank you so much for joining me. Scott Bugfoot, of course, was the first one in the chat. He always is. I know how he does it. On the rare occasions, he's not the first. It's a standout situation. So anyway, good to see you, Scott. Hope you're well, my friend. Rob F as well. Happy Saturday afternoon, he says. Good to have you with us, Rob. Thank you so much. Formerly known as T is here as well. Great to see you, T. Hope all's good with you on your side of the country, my friend. Richard Clark says, Little Richard signing on, and I am all about the Tutti Frutti. Good stuff, Richard. Great to have you with us, as always. T. Scott says, is it a Wop Bapaluba? It's going to be one of those live streams, isn't it? It's one of those sessions where we have fun times. T says, just looked up Tutti Frutti, or Rudy, meaning I had to remove the first comment, said Rookie. According to Charles Connor, Little Richard's drummer, the original lyrics were Tutti Frutti, good booty. If it's tight, it's all right. There you go. I mean, listen, lyrics, man. There's been worse lyrics than that, right? It's all good. Advo is here. Great to see you. Advo, hope you're doing well. Says, I bought an X rental guitar. It smells like cannabis from the sound hole. Um, I mean, yeah, that's not surprising, really. Um, but there you go. I mean, hopefully you can, if you choose to, sort that out somehow. I guess there's some sort of remedy you can use, air fresheners and stuff. I wouldn't know. Also, Soundhole suggests acoustic. Again, I'm not the best person for that, but it's all good. Formerly known as T says, how's life, Rob? Any new purchases? I'm getting very fond of my Martin. Um, and I don't know how much I can tell you, but T has this Martin guitar that is fabulous. It's really good. It's a really cool guitar. Um, yeah, yeah. Just all I can tell you. It's a wonder of a guitar. Brilliant stuff. A little bit jealous, T. Not gonna lie, even if it isn't my regular kind of thing. It's pretty special. Very cool indeed. Formula T also says a good stash if busking and selling a bit of weed. There you go. Avo says I got a guitar strap that locks in. My Flying V came with a strap system like that. Dunlop strap, I think. That was the first time I'd actually use it. It's fine. It's just yeah, the strap that came with it's not adjustable, so it's not my favorite thing. So yeah, I don't think I'll be keeping it that way. But it's all. I mean, I've had it 2 years now, so I should have changed it by now, and I haven't. This tells you how much I play that Flying V standing up. Rob F says, formerly known as T, things are good. One of my grown-up daughters and 4 grandkids are visiting, brings a total to 10 kids, 2 to 14 for the weekend. All right, that sounds like a noisy house, man. That's That sounds busy and lots of things going on. So glad you could spend some time with us, Rob. That's awesome. T says, "You're a lucky man, Rob. Good way to spend the weekend. 5 here, 4 thumbs. Marshall will be proud." Yeah, absolutely. What have we got so far? Um, YouTube won't tell me because it's a jerk. 11 likes and 23 viewers. You gotta up those. Those are rookie numbers, guys. Get the numbers up there if you don't mind. But let's see. We got Rob says, "Thanks, the mayhem takes a little getting used to. Beautiful wife and I have had lots of kids around for 25 plus years now. Yeah, sounds like a busy household, sir. All good with that. And yeah, you seem to be used to it, so that's good. Also, just make sure they don't, you know, get free reign on your guitars because kids guitars it always goes well. Mayhem is usually where the best stories come from, says T. That's not untrue. I will give you that for sure. Most recent guitar purchases are a music stand with a light for early morning practice in the dark and a rack mount power conditioner. My Zilla rack or cab should be done soon. Very good. Interesting indeed. That's devotion. Good on you, says T. Indeed. And Marsha's here. Great to see you. Marsha says, "Hi, just checking in to hit the like before the show starts. I'll be right back in a few. By the time Dave reads this, I'll likely be back." Well, if you're not back now, then, and I see you are, good job. Yeah, I mean, this is how it goes. You guys know if the chat opens like an hour before I turn up. So, and start the show. So if you want to pop stuff in there, it's all good because it's usually the first 40 minutes of the show is me reading out comments from that time. So yeah, good fun. Let's see what else we got. Marcia says, "Now it's 7 people, 5 likes. Not so proud anymore." Ooh. Yeah, if you're watching and you haven't hit the like button, Marcia's gonna be disappointed. By the way, I should have said it at the start. If this is your first 3 Chord Dave live experience, you gotta be subscribed so you can join the chat and say hello to all these lovely people whose comments I'm reading out. And some of the not lovely people whose comments I'm reading out too. They also get their comments read out. So if you're new, make sure you're subscribed and hit the like button too, because that's kind of important. What are we now? 21 people away from 8,000. It seems like we've been stuck between 7 and 8,000 for 1,000 years, but it's actually just been a year and a half. So yeah, it was January last year when we hit 7,000. So if we can get that 21 in the next few weeks, I'd be very happy. It'd be very, very cool. So if you guys could make sure you're subscribed, please. Let's see. We've already got some people saying make sure to hit the like button, which is good. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Marsha says. Ben Allmark says, "Cheers, Dave. Hope you are well, brother. Great to see you, Ben. Hope all's good with you, my friend. Glad to have you with us as always." And Scott reminding everyone to subscribe. Number 1 is here. Good to see you, number 1. Hope you are well. And yeah, how long is it since you've been here? Because were you here last week? Did I see you? Anyways, good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us. Formerly known as T says, "If we all unsubscribed, don't panic, Dave, and resubscribed, we could give another thumbs up. We could double the likes." Jesus, T, don't do that to me, please. Do not all unsubscribe, please. There is enough YouTube algorithm nonsense going on that, yeah, it's a very scary thing. As a YouTuber, occasionally I do fall into that rabbit hole of how to get seen by more people, how to target a better audience share, how to this, how that. And obviously, one of the things is post more videos. But when I posted more videos, nothing happened. And when I post less videos, the same thing happens. It doesn't matter what I do, I get the same results out of YouTube. So, more videos, less videos, the same number of videos all the time, same day, different days, different times, same time. It all results in the same results on YouTube for me. I don't know what it is, but anyways, yeah, please don't unsubscribe. Don't follow T's advice there. That would make me very sad. I'll just turn around and like there's 7,500 instead of 7,900. I'd be very upset. Scott says, "Hit like for the divine spiritual enlightenment." Not a guarantee, but yeah, I definitely think that's what happens. Let's see. We got some space in the glasses. Fill up this beer a little bit. I know it's early. Gotta make it last, but it got the foamiest head on it earlier, so it's doing it again. So it's not a full bottle in there yet. Number one says, "Yikes! Not sure I want any of that." I mean, it's fine. It's just a mini cult. This one, it's non-life threatening cult. The Chord Dave cult. Um, William Forrest is here. Great to see you, William. Hope all is good with you. And Steve Cassidy Guitar is here. Great to see you, Steve. Hope all is good with you, my friend. Um, Very cool videos about the new Harley Benton you picked up. Was it the ST Modern? Is that what they're calling it? Just not a Strat dude, so I'm not super excited about it, but you are, and that's cool. And lots of other people are too, which is great. Glad to see a couple of your videos doing really well this week. Yeah, great to have you with us. What else? You remember last week I told you Toman were kind of being dicks and they hadn't sent the guitar that I'd ordered in March, and they kept telling me like every 2 weeks it'll be another 2 weeks. They sent it this morning. Yay! So, well, they shipped something to me this morning and they're telling me it's the guitar. Whether or not it's the guitar, I won't find out until probably the end of next week, like Thursday or Friday, probably. But it's been shipped. It's with UPS. They don't normally ship their guitars to me via UPS, so we will see what happens. But yeah, we have a couple of exciting things coming this week, I think. So that's going to be interesting to find out. It was a bit straight. I woke up at like 7:30 this morning to an email saying we tried to charge your account, but it didn't go through. It's like, of course it didn't. I didn't know you were going to take 800 euros out of my account this morning, so it was sitting in a different account. So, anyways, I had to sort that out. 10 minutes later, it was the transaction had gone through, and they were telling me they shipped it. So, fingers crossed, ES345 is coming this week, and I can stop hating on Thoman a little bit. I'm not so sure that's going to happen, but do you know why? It's Muddy H2O's fault. He has me convinced that his guitar is not real, or there will be some massive problem with it, or something's going wrong. So we'll see. I definitely feel like, as you guys know, this is kind of a dream guitar, and it's got a significance to it for me as well. So um, we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed, everyone. Please say your prayers and stuff that it comes in as and is what I've ordered, which is an Epiphone ES345 with Bigsby Veritone. It's, I think, stereo outputs, and yeah, that's the original listing is that all had all those things. However, the picture in the email they sent me for what they've shipped does not have the Bigsby that the original listing had. Instead, it has there's regular stop tail and Tunematic bridge. So we'll see what happens. Either way, I'm kind of excited to see what comes out of the box next week. So, and then I'm not sure whether I'm still pissed off with home and if it arrives and it's what I want, or if I'll just be like, because I usually will just forgive people. We'll see. Anyways, it's been a long time coming. Formerly known as T says, divine spiritual enlightenment equals finding your dream guitar at a good price. Speaking of guitars at good prices, good friend of mine, channel favorite, Dunsi's Guitar World, has a really good video out, if not today, in the last few days, about buying guitars from Japan using Zen Market. And I know a few other YouTubers have talked about it, but he has a really good video going through the shopping process on Zen Market and how to do it. And interested to see what guitar he picks up. I think he's making a video about it soon. But definitely a one you should check out. Dunsi's Guitar World, always a fun time on his channel, and that's very interesting. If you want to find Japanese market only guitars, which some of us do, it's a good place to go for getting those. Anyways, that's all. Just wanted to let you know. You did a good video. Enjoyed it. Buglips says, "Tell your mom I said happy birthday, Bugfoot." Is that the new insult the kids are saying? Tell your mom happy birthday. Interesting. Number one says, formerly known as T. Well, that changes my whole perspective then. Interesting. T goes around changing everyone's perspectives on a lot of things. He's well known for it over in the West. Rob F says, just reserved a suite for the 2025 rock and roll cruise for beautiful wife and I. Bands include Social Distortion, X, Flamin' Groovies, Dolly Rots, Cocktail Splitters, and much more. Wow, that sounds awesome. Yeah, that's great. When is that? 2025? You will have to let us know how that goes when it rolls around. Obviously, it's probably a year away, but digging it, man. That sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to take a look at the rock and roll cruise and see what's going on there. Just when you said that, it reminded me of what's it, rock and roll fantasy camp. It's something that I've always wanted to sign up for and do. Um, who knows? Maybe someday I'll get to go to rock and roll fantasy camp. Maybe when YouTube grants me the wonderfulness of, like, I don't know, 50,000 subscribers. Um, I feel like if it just recommended me to half of Trogley's Guitar Show viewers, I'd get up to like 15,000 next week. Uh, let's see how it goes. Anyways, if any of you've been to Rock and Roll Fancy Camp, let me know. That'd be awesome. I'd love to do some content on that. Maybe they can put me on like a Rock and Roll Fancy Camp as a YouTube promotion for them. That'd be cool. Uh, Influencer day or something. Don't consider myself an actual influencer, by the way, so just taking a piss. Anyway, Scott says, sounds like something Biff from Back to the Future Part 1 would say. Um, Probably. Or Part 2. Uh, Buglip says, next time I visit, I'm gonna bitch that all you got me is light beer. Uh, that is something he would say in Back to the Future for sure. Todd Moore is here. Great to see you, Todd. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Says, hello, Dave. It's hot as hell here in Alabama. I always, this started off as a joke. I always said Abalama just to wind people up. You say sweet home Abalama, and people be like, "Oh, that's not what it's called." And now, when I see Alabama, I have to tell myself, like written out, I have to tell myself to be careful and slowly read it out properly. So, anyways, hope you're well, Todd. Thanks for joining us, sir. Hope everything's going well, especially with yourself over the last few weeks. Let me see, who else have we got? T says, extra bubbles in my beer. The bearded one is near. I mean, there you go. Extra bubbles for me too. Advo says, where's Muddy? He probably hasn't got permission to um from his dominatrix to be here yet, but you know he'll turn up, and when he hears that comment, he'll give me shit for it. But it's true. Let me see. Booglip says Heat Dome, Alabama. I'm not singing it to that. Rob says, I'm sure Muddy will be soon. Will be here soon. He may be. I know he hasn't. I think he's pissed off because Tolman are sending me to 345. He's not too happy that he can't take the piss out of me for a little bit longer, but I think he's anticipating it'll still be wrong and I'll have to send it back. I think that's his next hope on that stuff. Well, we'll see how it goes. Scott Bogfoot says modern guitar music is bad, but not that bad. Are you saying you're not a Swiftie? You don't think Taylor Swift's the eighth best guitarist of the last 20 years? Um, Let me see. Eric Ludinger's here. Great to see you, sir. Says, hey, Chord Dave. Scott Bogfoot kindly with the link to the Gibson and Brian May rumors. Now, those, by the way, I've heard a little bit more even since recording that video on Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, one of the days this week. Um, and it appears it's happening. Yeah, it's going. I can't find out whether they're doing a red special. I can't get that information, but they're doing a Brian May signature guitar release this year. What it's going to be, I'm not sure yet, but I am hunting as much as I can for information. But it's been confirmed to me that it's happening. Um, but I think it'd be funny though if they did the Flying V instead. That'd just tickle me a little bit. Steve Cassidy Guitar says, what was the publication that had Swifty at number 8? Jackie, Just 17 smash hits. I'd put her in a top 4 at least. I don't know, sir. I think I actually am not sure. But I think it's on guitar.com. So let me look it up really quick if the internet will work. Guitar.com is one of my saved links. I think it's on guitar.com. It's one of those websites that I look at, but I don't put a whole lot of faith into what they say a lot of the time. And I'm sure they feel the same way about me, so it's all good. Where is it? Where's the story? It's not. It's not on the front page. Damn it. Music. Taylor Swift voted 8th best guitarist of the last 2 decades. John Frusciante was number 1, by the way. Wow. So this is a poll by the guitar store Guitar. So maybe I mean, look, as I said in my video a couple of weeks ago, Taylor Swift is influencing a lot of people to pick up guitars. Maybe that's the influence that they're having, is that guitar polls are getting um, influenced. So if you want the top 10, and I think some of the names in here will cause a little bit of consternation as well. So top 10 from 10 down, according to Guitar customers, I believe, I guess. Simon Neil from Biffy Clyro is number 10. Tom DeLonge at number 9. I do think he's maybe an underrated guitarist, but not 10th or ninth best in the world. Then Taylor Swift, of course. Ed O'Brien from Radiohead is number 7. Very good guitarist. Chris Shiflett, everyone's favorite, in number 6. He's, of course, from the Foo Fighters. Johnny Greenwood is second entry for Radiohead in the top 10 at number 5. Sam Fender gets in because his name is the same as a guitar company. John Mayer, because Andertons love him, probably, is number 3. Alex Turner from the Arctic Monkeys is number 2. And then John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Willies, best guitarist in the world. I mean, the rest of the top 10, the rest of the top 20 is kind of laughable also. Um, so I just, so number 11 is Jim Root. Number 12, Keith Urban. Number 13, criminally underrated, John Five. Brad Paisley's number 14. Troy Van Leeuwen from Queens of Stone Age, number 15. Albert Hammond Jr. from The Strokes is 16th. Her is 17th. Adam Hahn from the 1975 is 18th. Ed Sheeran, you know, well renowned to be one of the most technical guitar players of all time, is 19th. And Julian Baker is number 20. So I don't know what that says about guitar customers, but it's not. Those aren't the main names I would go with, to be honest. But there you go. It's all good. It's all good. By the way, we have a super chat from Muddy H2O, which I've just seen because I was on a different page. But thank you, sir, for your super chat, which I haven't read yet, but I presume it doesn't say the positive thing. I think it does. It says, you influence me in a positive way. Whatever guitar you tell me you like, I stay far, far away from. I've never been happier. It's not true. It's he has been happier. That's quite insulting, actually, and we shall be having words about that later. It's all good. It's all good. Rob F says there are loads of good modern guitar bands. Sadly, though, you have to work harder to find them, and they don't generally make it big. I That's possibly true, Rob. I mean, I don't really go looking for new music, so I don't have a strong opinion on new guitar bands because I listen to stuff that I listened to 10, 15, 20 years ago still. And if those bands bring out new albums or songs or whatever, I'll listen to that. But I don't generally go looking for new music. So unless somebody here or one of my friends tells me of a new band to check out, it's probably not on my radar. Plus 90% of the time I'm listening to Guns N' Roses anyway, so whatever. Or Rory Gallagher or Thin Lizzy. So there you go. Those are my top 3 listen to acts at the moment. Formerly known as T says, I think Gibson will put Mays guitars, start making guitars in UK. It'll save them a fortune in shipping. We'll buy Mays guitars. It'd be interesting if they did something like that. I mean, as I said in the video, it doesn't make sense for Brian May to approve them to do like an Epiphone version of the Red Special, because that would essentially put his guitar company out of business. And so I don't see him doing that. That would be silly. And he's a very smart man. So be interesting to see what they do. I think it's probably just going to be a Murphy Lab signature deal, though. Let me see. T says, tell them what you want, Dave. Show them photos if you want. For your guitar. I haven't got the photos loaded up, man, because the email address that you send them to, I can only access it on my phone because I got locked out on my computer and I can't get back in. Thanks, AOL. Also, why do I use AOL as an email address? Why is that a thing? It's not it's not 1998, Dave. You move on. Uh, but I do anyway. So, but it's because I can access it on my phone, and I have for many years, and I don't want to lose it for some reason. But it's just full of spam all the time, that email address. Anyways, so if you do email me, I likely will miss it. But T, maybe at some point I will bring them to the show. But it's a great guitar, really, really lovely Martin guitar that T has. And if I showed it to everybody, they'd be jealous. So I'll keep it off for them. Mar says, see, I beat Dave. Yes, you beat me back before your comment. That was well done. Well done. I applaud your timing. The send one, great to see you, Mark. Hope you're well, and thanks so much for your messages early this week. I meant to get back to you. Actually, did I get back to you? I did. Did I get back to the second one about the Les Paul? Anyway, thanks, man, for that. I appreciate it. Happy Father's Day to everyone. Oh yeah, Father's Day tomorrow. So if you are one of them, happy Father's Day, and if you have one of them, happy Father's Day to you too. Yeah, so there you go. Let me see what we got here. Hit like. One-eyed Willie didn't hit like, and look how that ended up. Yeah, there you go. Nice Goonies. I don't know, collab there or a crossover. Um, Richard Clark says Steve Cassidy guitar TS is certainly top five material. My guess is Kanye swayed the poll somehow in favor of Lil Wayne. Uh, TS being Taylor Swift, I think. Yeah, good. I mean, listen, I have no prejudice against Taylor Swift. She plays guitar in front of stadiums full of people. I'm sure that inspires people in that stadium to pick up guitars. I think it's a great idea. It's like I said about the Epiphone guitar that came out a few weeks ago. That guitar is going to get a lot of people picking up guitars for the first time. I think it's a very important move. I think it's a good move. I'm still dumbfounded as to why they didn't call it a Taylor Swift, like get Taylor Swift on board as a signature artist for that reason. It just seems like a big missed opportunity. By the way, and just in case he's watching or somebody tells him about it, I have tried to reach out to Gibson to get Cesar to come on the channel a couple of times now. So if Cesar, if you want to give me like 15 minutes to talk about guitar stuff with Gibson, don't be afraid. Don't be a chicken, as Biff would say. And let's do it. Let's talk about guitars and Epiphone and Gibsons and stuff. I got some questions for you. I'm sure you have some for me too, and we can see what happens. Anyways, things that are not going to happen for 500, please. DMAC says, hey everyone, I'm in Nashville today. Went to the Gibson garage and didn't see any Wanted Dead or Alive posters for you, Dave. So I think you'd be okay to go there. Thanks, DMAC. Yeah, I think if I went, as long as they had no prior notice to me going there, I'd be fine. Unless Mr. Agnesi or Mr. Cesar were in the store at the time, in which case I'd probably be. Do you remember that scene in Beverly Hills Cop where Eddie Murphy's thrown out the window? That'd be me at the Gibson Garage in Nashville. I'd be all right in the London one, I think, but the Nashville one, straight out the window. I might actually follow that entire scene from Beverly Hills Cop. Just go and be like, "Can I speak to Cesar, please?" Just sit in his office and wait for his goons to throw me out the window. Um, anyway, cease and desist. By the way, I have decided if I ever start a guitar company, it's going to be called Cease and Desist Guitars. No one else, please steal that name. And we'll see how long it takes to get a cease and desist letter from Gibson. Mar says, yeah, that Gibson Brian May is going to be weird considering Brian still owns a guitar company. I can't even begin to imagine the legalities. I can't see Brian selling the body shape to Gibson. Well, the thing about it is, Marshall, and I get where you're coming from. I really, really do. What I believe, and I can't confirm this yet, but what I think is happening is you're going to do an absolute 100% one-to-one replica with scans and everything like that, which the company that Brian May owns can't do. They can't do all the scanning and stuff like that. Apparently, they have a exact replica with all the aging and stuff like that. They make fairly decent replicas of the guitar, but it's £1,000 or so. It's not going to be upper level. So they're basically making a very, very, very fancy version of the guitar. It's going to be a huge price. Like, you're talking 20 grand easy for that. I think that's the kind of guitar they're going to do. And it's going to be like one of these aged ones. It's going to be very fancy indeed. And I don't see them doing any cheaper versions because of his own guitar company. It's weird though. We'll find out. I have no idea really what they're doing. I just know they're doing something with him, and that's what my pal confirmed for me yesterday. He said basically, look, yeah, Brian May Gibson are putting out a guitar. Can't tell you anything else, and it'll be this year. So we'll see. We'll see. This person who told me, by the way, has told me other things in the past, and I'm just trying to add up now. About a 75% accuracy rating. So, yeah, fairly solid information, I would say. That was designed by him and his dad. Don't see him selling the rights to the body shape. Well, I mean, he did also. The other thing is he did have signature models with Guild, pretty much the same thing, and they did some. Guild did some interesting things. They put humbuckers and everything in the body shape at one point. Um, his slightly altered body shape, and then Burns Guitars in the UK, they were putting them out as well, in the 90s, I believe. And then he, of course, more recently, probably for 20 years or so now, has been putting them out in the Brian May Guitars stuff. BrianMayGuitars.com, by the way, if anyone wants to check them out. And they're cool. I've considered buying one a few times, but I'd probably play like one solo and one other song on it, so I don't know. Maybe. Eric says, I shouldn't say Eric, sorry. Number one says, I think the red special would price right out of my realm of concern. Yeah, I think most of us will be in the same boat there, sir. Mark says, all that circuitry design and like basically the entire guitars. Yeah, it's an interesting setup the way he's got it all right. T says, DMAC, they took them down after Dave got his signature deal. Yeah, it's it's supposed to be secret, but it's coming soon. The three chord Dave signature guitar. I'm in discussions. The design process is ongoing. Uh, oh man, see if that ever happened. Mark Doolan says, hi, all. I said, Eddie Murphy aged. Would you laugh and cry like me? Both. They probably working on it. Hey, Mark. Yeah, listen, I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying they are working on it. It'll be, I believe they're working on it. This is what I've been saying for, I don't know, maybe since the end of last year. Since we started to know, like, see these inspired by Gibson custom stuff, the information leak about those. Since before that, I've been saying they're working on trying to get some sort of relic Epiphone stuff done. What I believe they're working towards at the minute, and I don't think we're seeing it anytime soon, but what I believe they're working towards is similar to Fender's Road Worn series, where basically it's a template. Everything has the same scratches, dings, and all that sort of stuff on the paint. And it'll still be a poly finish and all that sort of stuff, but it will look like road worn, and they'll use their worn poly finish on it and stuff like that, like they're using on the like the worn olive drab worn casinos and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna come eventually because there's enough people want it, and there's other companies doing stuff like that. So definitely we'll see it. I don't know when they're gonna sign off on it, but they're working on it. I know that. As soon as I can find out more about it that I can actually prove, I will let you guys know. But yeah, from what I'm told, they're working on it. They have been working on it, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see like a 5 or 6 guitar range by the end of the year. But that's probably wishful thinking, probably next year. But good call, Mark. Thanks for joining us, man. Richard Clark says, yep, I'm glad they're making the Brian May thing a custom shop. Saves me the trouble of thinking about it. Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be so expensive that only 3 people will be able to afford it, and 2 of them are Brian May. The second one says, any Father's Day guitars arrived for anyone? No, but ask me next week. Matt Van Bosch says, hi all, great to see you, Matt. Hope you are well. Mark Doolan says, joking, of course. Mind you, would be fun. Hey man, listen, you've hit the nail on the head. It's coming. Just don't know when. Or I mean, look, it's in testing. It's one of those things they want to do because they know there's the big market for it. So, number one, it would be silly of them to ignore that, and second of all, it's been proven it can be done. So there's no reason for them not to do it. What price you'll see those at, by the way, I think you'll probably see them similar to the Inspired by Custom Gibson custom price ranges, so like 12.99 upwards, I'd say. Marcia T says, if this is your first three chord, Dave, better buckle your seatbelt and prepare for a wild yet satisfying ride. This is what I say to everybody when I meet them. You can see one such example of what T said about unsubbing. Please don't say unsubbing or unsubscribing. That's just giving me anxiety. Uh, Steve Cassidy Guitar says, cheers, Dave. Cheers, Steve. You're doing really well, man. I really dig your videos, actually. So keep it up. Keep it up. Scott Bogwood says, I've been here for years and I'm only now being told this is a cult. Sir, you were the one who made it into a cult. I don't know why you're pretending to be surprised. Van Bosch says, hi, Steve. How is the ST Modern neck compared to the HB Fusion? Is it the same neck profile? That's a good question. Marcia T says, I also really like Steve Cassidy's video about the HB PRS copy that he posted this week. He's been testing that guitar out for a year after picking up a used one without mods. I haven't actually watched that one yet, but it is on my watch later list, so I will eventually get to it. I spent a little bit of time on YouTube this week. Oh, how much can I say? Not an awful lot, probably, but let's just say Monday to Friday, I'm going to have a little bit of YouTube watching time. So I will catch up on everything then. Where was I? Because all the comments jumped in. There he is. I picked up a Nux 8BT Mark II for a friend. Great little yoke. Cool. Yeah, the Nux things are interesting, little fun pieces. When's that stuff come? I've got some interesting sponsored stuff coming soon, which might rival it. Who knows? Yeah, we'll see. I got some interesting stuff coming from a sponsor. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me see. Number one says, Scott Bogwood, if you have to pick a cult, we could have done much worse. One of my friends is convinced that someone else I know is a cult leader. So I'm just making fun of that. But yeah, this could be a cult. We can turn it into a cult if everyone wants to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm fine with that. We'll see how it goes. I'll be the leader. We'll all transcend on the Gibson Garage one Thursday afternoon to make a video. We'll see how it goes. Richard Clark says, I was just extracted from a cult. Now I attend meetings religiously to keep from returning. Richard, it's okay. Just think of this as like a friendly cult. It's all good. Another one says, just got an Epiphone Les Paul 100 lower end model, but it was perfect and only $140 until UPS dropped it and put a huge chip in it. I guess I'm about to try the super glue finish repair trick. Yeah, that sucks, man. That sucks. But hey, decent enough guitar to mod and fiddle around with and do all kinds of messing around stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, definitely a cool pickup for $140, man. Hopefully your repair with the super glue works out. Jess says, will you play your new guitar on next week's show? Unlikely, Jess. I'll show it to you. I'll be like, hey, look at this. This is a guitar. I mean, I'm holding both hands in like a look at this kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think I can. I'm not Steve Cassidy. I haven't figured that out yet. So 124 shows and I don't know how to do what he's doing over there playing guitar and stuff. If I can figure it out without asking Steve, because then he'll tell me how to do it and I'll definitely know how to do it because he'll teach me how to do it properly. So I don't want to do that because I'll be terrible live. So no. But I will make a video playing the guitar. I promise. When I make some sort of review video or, hey, look, this arrived. The interesting thing is there's a potential thing this guitar is not supposed to be released yet. So Gibson might get very pissed off about it being in my hands. Of all people, if Cesar finds out I got an early release of a guitar, it's not going to go well for anybody. So see how it goes. But thanks, Jess. I'll tell you what, I'll consider it. I will consider it. But let's just not get any hopes up. Number one with the super chat. Thank you, sir, so much. Says, just to help you keep motivated and for consistently remembering my new name for weeks. Impressive. Thank you, sir. It's all just because otherwise I may just go back to mispronouncing your name, but I appreciate it an awful lot. The super chats are cool and very nice. Thank you to all of the super chatters. Ben Allmark says another great channel for not expensive Japanese made guitars is Madman Maiko's channel. I'm not familiar, man. Honestly, I'm not. But definitely, is it Malco or Maiko? Malco, Madman Malco's channel. Yeah, definitely one I'll look into. Steve Cassidy guitar says love Dunsi's channel. Not watched the Denmark video yet. My wallet won't let me. Surprised at the price of some of these things, man. They look phenomenal for the price. And then getting the shipping and stuff like that worked out is the hard part, I think. And then of course you're gonna have to pay some sort of customs fee or VAT or whatever. So yeah, it's a little bit, but it's not as bad as I thought. Like there's some nice Grecos and stuff on there, Yamahas and all those kind of things, Aria Pros and stuff. There's some very nice things at really not awful prices. So watch this video. I think you get a nice surprise. But yeah, it's a good video. Dunsey makes some great videos. Big fan of Dunsey. Let's see what else have we got here. Glenn Bailey, great to see you, Glenn. Hope you are well, my friend. Says your life is a rock and roll fancy camp. You should pay. We should pay you for a while. I mean, hello family. Sorry, I'm late. Hey, Glenn. I mean, it's not really. The people it's like that ad for Workday. Is that the thing? They're like people like to think they're rock stars in work, but they're not. Um, there was a couple of rock stars, but they've moved on to other teams or different ventures, and now I'm the only rock star there now. But hey, it's fine. We'll see how long that lasts. Richard Clark says, "Hey Glenn." Lots of people saying, "Hey Glenn." Glenn's very popular, but always glad to have you with us, Glenn. I thank you for the compliment, sir. T says, saw a YouTube clip, Rolling Stone magazine, worst songs of the 80s. Didn't fact check it, but they were some of my favorite songs of the 80s. It's always Rolling Stone's not reliable anymore for anything. It's not. It's just some of the stuff they've come out with has been terrible of late, and I only get see it when some other YouTuber highlights it. But there, there you go. Marcia says, "Hey Glenn, aka partner in crime." Oh shit. Uh, those two together could be trouble. That's for sure. Um, Let me see. Where are we now? We have Muddy H2O. Hello, Muddy. Hello, Muddy. And someone else saying Muddy. Shots fired by Muddy. If he's always firing them. I've become immune. Let's just say that, or at least I wish and hope that I am immune. DMAX says Biffy Clyro is awesome. Got hooked on them a couple of years ago. Saw them live. Really awesome show. Great tunes. Rob F says, I love your sarcasm, Dave. Thanks. Not everyone does, and not everyone gets it. So I'm glad you do, sir. Rob, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. It just comes to me and I just can't help it. But yeah, I work with a lot of people who don't get sarcasm, and there's some people I know or have known who didn't appreciate sarcasm. But it didn't stop me. Anyways, thank you. I appreciate that, sir. I really do. It means a lot. It's not sarcasm when I say that. It's just going to sound sarcastic. It's not. Scott says list is based off internet search results or some bullshit. Yeah, more than likely. Glenn says Julian Baker is a good guitar player, better than a lot of the others listed. I've only scraped in at number 20, Glenn, so I don't know. We've got we've all got our own opinions. I don't know most of the people on that list. No, I do know them, but I don't listen to them. Muddy Hate Show with a super chat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. And number one, of course, says in appreciation of the one video you've made for 2024 and to keep you motivated to not make another until 2025. With love, number two. Thanks, Muddy. You are more than number two, of course. But yeah. Hey, I've made like 6 videos this year. Why are you getting on my back? It's only 6 months in. It's like one a month. What's wrong with you? Um, I've made two in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? Yeah, two in the last 3 weeks. It's fine. It's an averaging video once every 3.5 years. DMAC says, I'm going to see King's X live tomorrow night. Very cool, DMAC. Hope you have fun with that one. Steve Cassidy says, yeesh, that list makes me feel old and ready to get ranty and grumpy. All guitarists on that list are still alive. Instant fail. True. True. That's a good point. If all of those guitarists are alive, something wrong with the list. It's actually the best point that anybody has made in a while. Richard Clark says, according to that list, many of us here should be in the top 10. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Steve Cassidy, guitar. Please refrain from the O word, if at all possible. I mean, you know, sometimes we feel it more than others. Brian May guitars built in collaboration with Gibson Custom Shop, like what Epiphone claimed on the Inspired by Gibson series. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't know what they're going to do, but it'll be interesting. Yeah. And of course, now that I've mentioned it, when it comes out, I'm going to be like, see, I told you guys like months ago, you should have listened to me and subscribed to the channel. One of the many reasons to subscribe to this channel. And people will still be like, who's this guy? What's going on? Muddy says, what model Martin T? I'll leave that to T to tell you because I can't remember. Martin says, then why would Brian May bother teaming up with Gibson at all? Why not just do it under his own brand? As far as I'm aware, there's two reasons. Well, number one, they don't have the capacity to do it at his own brand, and he also wants to have some production in the US of his guitars. In the video, it says it would be fun, or it would be great to have some production of Brian May guitars, of the Brian May guitars in the States. So that doesn't necessarily mean the Red Special. I want to be very clear on this. It doesn't necessarily mean they're making a Red Special. They could go with Les Paul Deluxe. Brian May used to play one on us. Swear to God, here's a picture of him with a Les Paul Deluxe. Or they could be like, here's Brian May playing a Flying V. This is his signature Flying V. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that they do something like that. We have no confirmation what guitar model they're doing or whether it's going to be a Red Special Gibson. I actually think that's less likely than them doing something like, here's this Gibson model endorsed by Brian May. I think that's a much more likely thing. Maybe a small, very limited, like only 50 made or something like that, Red Specials at some point. But I'd be very surprised, to be quite honest with you. Very surprised if they do it, because there's a lot of complications. Like, they can't do Epiphone versions. They can't do cheaper Gibson versions, really, because it would compete with his own company. So I don't know. I'm not involved in it. I don't know. I just know that they're doing something together. So that's all we can do right now. So I just want to be clear, though. I'm not saying they're definitely doing a Red Special. It could be anything. Could bring out an SG if he's cool. DMAX says, number one, they are at the Brooklyn Bowl here in Nashville, so call it a club show. Saw the Toadies at it a couple of years ago, and Government Mule at the one in Vegas. Good live venues. Very cool. Very cool. Marcia T again says, there are tons of factories or small builders who will be able to do a special, smallish, limited run under his own brand without selling his soul to the devil, so to speak. I think we've got to stop looking at it as he's selling his soul to the devil. He as he said, he has a good relationship with Gibson, so he's happy to do it. And yeah, maybe it's the ultimate homage to his guitar building with his dad. Could be. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they do. T says, Muddy, it's a CEO 10. It's beautiful guitar, man. It really is. Let me see. What else we got? Muddy says, T, fantastic, brother. Congrats. Those are real beauties. Of course, the triple O's are my favorite. Sure. DMAX says, yeah, club shows are the best. And number one says, club and theater shows are awesome. I kind of like theaters better for the acoustics, but clubs are fun when you get up against the stage and have the head blown off by the cats. Yeah, man, I haven't been to a good club show in a while. Although the 3 Arena in Dublin where I saw Slash, it is an arena, but it's a very small arena. So So that's kind of, it's almost like a cross between the two, to be quite honest with you. There's probably clubs that are bigger than it somewhere. Um, so anyway, time to get to some club shows, I think. Marcia says, I love Beverly Hills Cop. And Dave is totally right. That's what they do. Beverly Hills Cop is one of the best movie trilogies of all the times. And there's a fourth one coming out on next Netflix soon, which is going to be probably complete shit. But let's hope it's not awful. Probably will be awful, but we'll see. Richard says, if you ask Cesar for money, he may take this more serious. Who knows? I'm going to ask him to make my signature guitar. Um, I'm sure that's under consideration. As Bogfoot says, wait, how was Satchel not on that list? Total bullshit. Exactly. And actually, someone like Satchel should be on the list because he's an excellent guitarist. Rob agrees with number one. The best part of club shows are getting down on the floor in front of the stage. Richard Fortis, great guitarist, absolutely. Another one who should be on the list. My last club show put directly in front of Mark Tremonti. Yeah, that was loud. It says number one. That would be loud. Was it an Alter Bridge show or what? That'd be cool. Scott says, original Red Special is a copy of a Gretsch body, is it not? I don't know if it is a copy of a Gretsch body. I'm not. I mean, I could be. I haven't looked into it in huge detail, but what I would say is it wouldn't surprise me if it's very similar. But there's that community of people who build Red Specials and so on. It's actually fascinating how much and how detailed they are, and those guys know every single inch of that guitar. And if Gibson were to make one and it was wrong in any aspect, they'd rip it apart. So, and though they you can't afford to make it wrong. So we'll see what happens if they do go down that road. Glenn says, I've heard the Brian May Gibson rumor a couple of times today. I didn't start it, Glenn, I promise. Number one says, attaboy, Dave. Good correction on yourself. Thanks. Yeah, look, I want to be 100% clear there. Ryan Byrne is here. Great to see you, Ryan. Hope you're well, man. Glad you are with us. And T says, has Brian May used any Gibsons in the studio? I can't confirm yes or no. The stories that are being put out are kind of trying to make a little bit more reference to him using, in particular, like I said in the video, Flying V's, a Flying V and a Les Paul Deluxe at one point in the 80s. So how much he used them, I don't know. But he'll say himself, like, 99% of the time it's the Red Special. That's what he's always gone with. Or his various versions of it that he has, because obviously he has several copies of the guitar. So I wouldn't say he's used them too many times. But there you go. But I'm not 100% sure on that, to be honest. Scott Bogman says, I'd love to see a signature Gibson come out that is roughly routed out for a Kahler trem, but has a stop bar installed instead. Like just any signature, or what? I don't know. I mean, my Flying V could do that because it's technically kind of routed out for a Kahler. I mean, it is just badly by the previous owner, or the owner before that guy, allegedly. But yeah, that could be a good idea, Scott. I like that. I like that people would be into that. So thank you. Money with yet another super chat. Single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, but just funding the channel on a regular basis. And I appreciate you, sir. Says, I know every single inch of Chord Dave if anyone is looking to make a replica. No, that's not true. It's a scandalous rumor. And yeah, I'm just gonna. I did find a hidden camera in my bedroom 2 weeks ago. Now it kind of makes more sense, but it's okay. I've turned it around so nobody can see nothing. Marsh said, I've heard that, but it's possible he's used other guitars for Brian May. Absolutely. I think he has. I think he has said as well that he used a Telecaster at one point for a song. Probably Crazy Little Thing Called Love, I would imagine. Actually in the video, I know Freddie plays a Telecaster at one point on that live. So maybe in that video, possibly as well. Formerly known as T says, I'll email Gibson and ask, can I order the Gibson Custom Shop ES355 3-chord Dave signature guitar? You should. If they make it, I will be very happy. I'll give you 10% of all the proceeds. Robert Parker says hello from Tuscaloosa. Thanks, Robert. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining us. It's always good to have folks like yourself dropping in to see us. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Glad you're here. Hope you're well. Rob F says, how can this be a cult if Dave doesn't ask us to send him all our money? Dave, you have work to do. That's coming up. That's coming up in show number 342. So we've a bit to go. I've just got to lay the groundwork first. But show 342, give me all your money. I'm even going to play the Spinal Tap song, Give Me Some Money, for the entirety of that live stream. It's all planned out. Don't worry. The entire thing is worked out. But yeah, Give Me Some Money is going to play in the background, subconscious level though. So it'll be on like a number 2 volume. So you won't know that it's playing, but you will hear the message. Scott Pogfoot says, I'm a cult leader. New achievement unlocked. Indeed. I mean, hey, just for the new folks, welcome to 3-chord Dave Live. It's kind of kooky. Marcia says, while we're at it, tell them to send me a free DG335. Good luck with that, Marcia. You know, it's I believe Muddy's working on that contest for you, though, right? Steve Cassidy says, Matt Bosch, Sosmate, missed that. It's not the same. Fusion is a C. The Modern is a D. They both have similar amount of girth, not super thin. There you go. But hey, it's interesting enough on those things. I'm not a huge S-type person, so Steve's videos will probably be as close as I get to one, but it's good enough for me. Can we use Hop House instead of Kool-Aid? Yeah, if you're gay, whatever you got, it's all good. We'll just pretend it's called Kool-Aid and we'll be fine. Ryan says, I'd like to start a cult one day. Seems like it's all just women and money. What could go wrong? Yeah, and if that's all you want in life, Ryan. Wait, that is all we want in life. Let's do it. Oh man, listen, we're gonna get in trouble at some point on this stream again. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get somebody emailing me going, you said this on a live stream, it's not appropriate. We're all adults. It's over 10. It's past 10 p.m. where I am, so let's all just agree. The cult may or may not happen. Formerly known as T says, Dave wouldn't ask us for our money. Now our guitars is a different story altogether. I mean, I'll take both. It's fine. Yeah. Scott Bogman says, my only issue with Yamaha guitars is that they have an aha in the name. They do. Yam. Aha. Formerly known as T says, we want 3 chords, buddy. Is that if I'm playing guitar in the video? You know what? This may come as a shock to some of you guys, but I'm working on a 4th chord. I don't want to shock anybody because you might be surprised by this, but did you guys know there's a B chord? There is. There's C add 9, C7, and B sharp. Those are the chords. We'll see what happens next week. Wayne McConnell says, greetings, Super Dave. Greetings, Wayne. Hope you are well, my friend. Scott Bogman says, give me a headstock that just says yam. And Atbo says, can a guitar be gendered? I don't know if I can answer that question. I get cancelled off YouTube. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, and I think number 1, it says it here, believe all are ladies, at least mine are. Yeah, me too. B.B. King called all of his guitars Lucille. So that means that they're all ladies, right? Mark says, nice. Number 1, anything people can give to the channel benefits all of us. Indeed, Marcia. Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Honestly, I don't need to make this point. You guys know we don't, as YouTubers, those of us who are on YouTube, the likes of myself and Steve and Dunsey and um, Mike from Upstairs to the Right Music. Colin Guitar, he says, we're not the biggest YouTube channels. They're not pumping money our way to do all kinds of things. And they're certainly not paying us huge money for ad revenue. So yeah, every penny does help. And, it usually goes back into our channels. So it's massively appreciated and it does help everybody. So thank you so much to anyone who donates, whether it's likes, time, buy me a coffee, which is in the links in the description, buying shirts and merch and all that sort of stuff, or sending your friends and family over to sponsor the channel. They can just email me if they want to do that. And some of you have done that, which is great. And obviously the super chats and people who joined the Patreon and the channel membership, that all helps as well, which is really kind and lovely of you guys. So thank you to everybody who contributes in any way to the channel. It means a lot. And the guys who work behind the scenes, like Scott Bogfoot and stuff, with the moderation of the channel too. They do a lot of work during the live streams. So thanks everybody. The sender one says, me old fashioned, like the drink. I like those too. If you're just saying you're old fashioned, yeah, me too. Benny Larson's here. Great to see you, Benny. Hope you're good, my friend. And Marcia said that about people do that with cars too. I never assigned a name to any such object, but sure you can. Why not? I mean, like, it keeps you happy. Why not? It's all good. Matt Van Bosch says, Steve Cassidy guitar, thanks. Good to know they're different. Didn't really get on with the Fusion I played. The spec on the ST Modern is seriously tempting. I don't know. Did you see? It's my one complaint with Steve Cassidy guitars video is his ST Modern is white. Goes against everything that I believe in, but it's fine. I love his video so much that I just let it pass. It's fine. But yeah, I was like, why didn't you buy the blue one? Did I make a blue one? I didn't look at them too hard. So anyway, I was just kidding. Yeah, it was a great video, man. It was great, really good. And of course, just kidding about the whiteness. It's all good. Whatever you dig is super cool with me. Ryan says the SA 2200 is the best ES style guitar I've played other than the Gibson Custom Shop. The higher end of the Yamaha LL to LS acoustics are amazing too. The Yamaha, I mean, they're around a long time for a reason. Make good guitars at all levels. Michael Watson says, hello, Dave. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are doing well, Michael. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. D-Mac says, gotta go. All the best, everyone. Hope you catch this and are doing well, D-Mac. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm sure we will see you soon. Steve Cassidy Guitar says, I'd suggest holding off until the next batch if you can. There seems to be a fair few reports of teething problems. Could be similar to the first run of the Fusions. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm generally a wait until the second round of everything kind of person because of working in tech. The first thing, because I worked for Apple, for example, whenever they bring out a new product, the first one's always terrible compared to the second generation. Even the software doesn't work properly. There's always bugs and flaws they haven't figured out yet. You're basically doing a public beta if you buy the first generation Apple product. Wait to the second generation. They'll have most of it figured out at that point. Not everything. There'll still be things wrong with them, but they'll get a lot of it ironed out a lot better than the first generation. So, dear Apple, please don't sue me. That's just my personal opinion. So if anyone from Apple is watching, just kidding. Matt from Bosch says, Dave, speaking of recent videos, I thought the Taylor Swift guitar one would have gone crazy. Weird how the algorithm works sometimes. Yeah, man, me too. Like, I honestly was like, should I make it? Should I make the Taylor Swift one? Because the people who watch the channel already ain't going to be too interested in the Taylor Swift guitar. They're just not. I know that. You know that. If I was not me, but I was watching me, I'd be like, why is he making a guitar video about Taylor Swift? So I'm a little bit surprised it didn't take off a little bit better, but at the same time, I'm a dude in my 40s talking about Taylor Swift guitar things. I didn't expect it really to do crazy. The fact that it did really poorly is surprising. But hey, Taylor Swift's going around the world still. Maybe it'll be one of those that just takes off out of nowhere at some point. It'd be nice to have brought in a couple of thousand people to the channel. I, you know, although that's probably not my the kind of channel I want. Go to Marty Schwartz's channel and learn how to play those new guitars you're buying, so you can sound like Taylor Swift. If you're one of those new Taylor Swift people. Richard Clark says Brian May letting Gibson in leads me to believe there will be an Epiphone at some point. Of the Red Special, I can't see it, Richard. But look, as I've said, I don't know what they're doing. They may or may not do that. I would be very surprised, but I don't know. So I have no insight yet as to what they are actually doing, as I said. Just to be clear, no insight, just know they're doing something. Scott Bogwood says, double neck Red Special. I may be the first to say that. I think you are the first and only person who will ever say it, Scott, but thanks for that. I appreciate it. Glenn Bailey says to Steve Cassidy, my left-handed friend received his Harley Benton CST 24T purple bursts and is crazy happy with it. Setup out of the box is perfect. The CST 24s from Harley Benton are very cool guitars. And I dig everything purple burst right now, so I'm not surprised. But left-handed. There's a high proportion of Chord Dave community members are left-handed, so I'm just kidding. Ryan Burns says they'll do what they did for Hendrix, known for playing a whatever, but when absolutely no one was around or listening, he chose Gibson. See, that's what I mentioned in the video. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that, and I think that'd be actually pretty funny. Get your Brian May Les Paul Deluxe. Like, we have one photograph of him playing one, so you should check it out. Steve Cassidy says Gibson Brian May signature Strat. You heard it here first. Stop stealing my headlines, Steve. That's my thing. That's all good. Rob says Steve Cassidy guitar. Can you get Thoman to set up a guitar you purchase from them? I think you can. I don't think many people do get them to do too much in the terms of set. You can get them to like plect the guitar for you. It costs €250, I think. So there you go. It's definitely possible for that. I'm not sure if though just a regular setup is something that they do. And I've bought a lot of guitars off them, so I should have known. I think you can request something to be done with it, but I've never done it. T says it's 10:52. Time for beer number 2. Wow, that's not too bad. I'm only 17 minutes behind. T also says a Brian May Deluxe would be cool. Any Deluxe would be fine. Yeah, I'd like them to do a nice affordable Deluxe. That's all I want them to do. Like, I've said this many times. Les Paul Deluxe, Epiphone, Gold Top, and Pelham Blue. Do both of those, please. That'd be great. Because I've said it though, I think they're not going to. Marcia says, speaking of Satchel, have you guys been watching the dad jokes vids they've been posting lately? Hilarious. I've seen a couple of I think they've got 4 or 5 of them now, and I've only seen a couple, but they are funny. Anything Steel Panther does on their YouTube channel is generally funny. And just if you're not aware, this is a Steel Panther fan club, so get on board. One of the greatest bands of all time. Ryan Burns says, does it come in purple nurple burst? Yeah, absolutely. Steve Cassidy Guitar says, Rob, if you can get it plecked, unsure about setup, would be worth looking into. Good shout. See, Steve and I have the same information, so maybe I'm not the only one. Maybe it's just you can get it plecked. I know I've looked at getting guitars plecked before, but I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it. Has anyone got their guitar plecked and like thinks it's amazing? I've never had it done, so I don't know. Rob says, thanks, Steve. Just curious. I've always have Sweetwater set up guitars I purchase from them. Yeah, I mean, I think there is a bit of a service deficiency from Thoman, and I'm putting that out right now, in particular when I'm still not happy with them. So, should I say too much? I'm not going to say too much, but listen, all they need to do to resolve my issues with them is start sending out bags of sweets like Sweetwater do, like just little things of Haribo in every shipping package. Haribo's German, is it? Or Belgian? It's from, just throw us a few Haribos. It'd be grand. Also, probably go back to like heavier three chord Dave if they do that. Um, um, Probably notice he says an AI three chord Dave. That'd be, no, geez, that's an idea. Get him to come on and do some videos for us. Marsh says also for anyone who was into punk rock in the 90s and 2000s, Steve O32, the original drummer from Sum 41, started a hilarious YouTube channel. I heard that, yeah, stealing all our views, god damn it. Even if you weren't a huge fan, totally funny with backstories and drumming to songs he hasn't played in 10 years. Muddy says I have photo evidence, which he doesn't. I'd go broke with in synthetic hair alone. Um, I'm just gonna scroll on here, not mentioning anything about that. Are you saying it's only 1 single inch? What did he? Wait. What did he say? No. What? What are we talking about? It's gonna scroll past that one as well. Margie says, Ryan, I'm guessing you're not buying it if it doesn't come in that color. And Rob F says, I had my first guitar, Squire Affinity Strat Plect. Has anyone else had a guitar Plect? I'm not a refined enough player to tell the difference between a Plect Strat and other guitars. So yes, I've never had a guitar Plect, so I don't know. I don't know how well the difference is, whether it's worth it or not, or whether it's just something that you can replicate with setting up the guitar. And I mean, it's, computerized perfection, right? That's what they say anyway. Ryan says, I'd consider it if Wexford suntan, summer tan were also finished, which I mean is quite often likely to be just pale. As you can see my arm there, pretty summer weather now, tan-ish, transparent almost. That's the Wexford curse. Fister Roboto's here. Great to see you, Fister. Hope you're well. Says I'm fashionably late. Fashionably is the word there. Yeah, always good. Nizodizo says I thought you were going to show us your Gibson signature guitar. No, I haven't got a Gibson signature guitar, not yet. We're working on it. We're having negotiations. Richard Clark says, Rob, I've had my new Gibson's Plex simply because they come that way. They're as good as anything I could set up myself, and I have been doing it for over 40 years. Yeah, that's a good point. They say all new Gibsons are Plex now, so, and they've been doing that for a few years. So there you go. That's a good point. Never thought of that. So probably have played a Plect guitar in that case. Rob F says C Add 9 is one of my favorites. You know how I learned C Add 9? Green Day. There you go. Not going to tell you which song or anything, but there you go. Formula One T says, poor old Dave, you are chasing a DG over a signature. It's fine. It's fine. Jess says, what about B minor? You could show it off on a video with your new guitar. It's going to take me 6 months to learn a fifth chord. Jess, what are you doing to me? I'll think about it. But no promises. But usually whenever Jess tells me to do something, it gets done. So that is a promise. I don't know why. So there we go. Muddy H2O says, Rob, I've had good and not so good experiences with Plek. It's only as good as the guy running it, to be honest. Just like this YouTube channel, which is nice. Good that we have something in common with the Plek machines. Let me see what else we got. Muddy, I'm told a Plek is only as good as a tech running the machine. Says Rob, indeed, there you go. And Steve Cassie says second channel, 4-chord Dave, 6-string TV. Second channel is 7-string TV. I don't really get the whole second channel thing, though. I struggle keeping one channel going. So, if you see a second 3-chord Dave channel, question it, because it might not be me. If you see 4-chord Dave, it's an imposter and he's a liar. But I appreciate the idea, Steve. Who knows? Someday, maybe. When I don't have the pressures of whatever keeps me from making this like videos all the time on this channel. We'll see. We'll see. It'll come back. It'll be fine. Yeah, I've never really been a second channel person. I saw one YouTube channel. It's not guitar related, and they were. I'm not even sure their first channel is monetized, and they made a second channel, and it's slightly off topic of the first. Like they could fit those videos on their main channel, but now they have a second channel they're making videos on as well, and it's like you don't even like get up and running before you get the second one done. I anyways, for Chord Dave comes soon. uh, Change the channel name, although it doesn't have the same pizzazz, and people wouldn't have the same jokes, or maybe they would. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Muddy, I've thought with some guitars that you could that I could level the frets better than the Plek or Tech did. You certainly have a point. It's such a pain to do that perfectly by hand. Yeah. Muddy said to Rob F's correct. It can be great, but it can also be so depending on what. For example, I've had new Gibsons with frets out of level. There you go. But he's very picky. Steve says C at 9. I always struggled with algebra. I don't even do maths at all. So it's just I fluked that one. Fisher Roboto says, Scott, I'll be watching that video later on with absolute pleasure. And Scott says, enjoy. So, indeed, just be careful if he sends you a private link to a video. Be careful. Rob says, I've heard that there's a difference between plecking a guitar neck during manufacture versus a plek done in a setup. With your choice of strings, etc. Yeah, it could be all right. I don't know, man. And like you say, I don't know if it's marketing or real. I'm not sure either. I know some people swear by it, but I'm not sure. Muddy says Rob F. Plek is just a method of getting frets level and nut adjusted properly. Though the Plek doesn't cut the nut, the Tech does. And if it's in humans' hands, it's always likely to be fecked up. You can tell them. You can tell them what strings you want to plect with, says Richard Clark. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So there we go. Learning new stuff. As I do most weeks with you guys. Again, we've got about 12 minutes left, so I think we might. I don't know if I need to start skipping stuff. We'll see how it goes. I just keep rolling. If it gets to 5 minutes, I might see where we are. Richard Clark says, any new guitar I'm getting at least a 3-pack of my choice, or they can keep it. Yeah, just get Ernie balls, it's fine. Yes, the Tech still has to finish the nut and fret ends after the Plek, says Rob. And Fister says, is the Plek really worth taking into consideration? I do a fairly reasonable setup, and my favorite shop has a wonderful tech who always gets my setup perfect for me. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think I can't speak from someone who has got it done, but because I haven't, but I've never had too much of a problem with the guitars if I get Marty to set them up, or if I'm not going to say I've never had problems when I've set it up myself, but there you go. That's a whole other story for another day. Ryan says, buy Taylor Swift's guitar, then Google how to install wall anchors. They will play them. 20% of people will play them for 6 months, and 20% of them will keep playing. Money says, correct. So a Plek, if done properly, will be the most accurate fret level while removing the least amount of fret material. By the way, Muddy actually works for the Plek machine company. So just don't trust him. He doesn't. I'm just kidding. Richard Cox says, Fister, in your situation, I would not pay for a Plek at all. And Muddy says, Fister, in my opinion, it's only worth it if you have severe fret buzz or like really low string action. Also, if it's on a high fret or two causing the issues, a full Plek isn't really needed. So there you go. Good stuff. Descender one says, the emergency G7 summit today will be followed by another summit next Saturday with a C major summit, which will resolve everything. Stolen by Julian Lennon. Stolen from Julian Lennon. Well, there you go. You see, that works. Advance says, my toggle switch is stuck. Epiphone SG Iomi. It's, I don't know. It could be a lot of things causing it to be stuck, but you might be able to just take it out and pop it back in, screw it in again, or like tighten the nut again on it. I don't know. Yeah, just try to fiddle around with it, see what happens. Visitor says, Buddy, I only had one guitar in my short lifetime that had fret buzz. Took it to my fave shop, has always did a wonderful job. I set up yet again. There you go. Fan cult, not fan club. sorry, Scott. Didn't want to get that wrong. We was just testing you. See, Fister says, Scott, wait, we're not a cult. Shh, we got to stop using the C word. People will be onto us. Richard says, I have a club for my fans. All right, well, share. No need for a plec then, always a good thing, says Fister. Two Fister, says Muddy. Anyways, my favorite guitar is Plex, says Scott. So there we go. So lots of opinions on the Plex. Advert says, later, Eric, when I stored it in a gig bag and had another guitar on top of it. Oh, it's probably just something you can resolve, I'd say then. Larry D. Fox says, got a plec on my new Epi 59 at Sweetwater. Are perfectly flat frets, worth 300. Not really. I'd never do it again. See, that's as good an opinion as anything said. I tried a plec on a first guitar because I wanted a perfect neck for my 58-year-old arthritic hands. My 4 subsequent guitars haven't had fret problems. Curious if I was simply being lucky. I don't know. I think a lot more guitars these days are better. 15, 20 years ago, it was probably a lot more essential. I don't know when Plex machines were made or came out or whatever, but definitely nowadays guitars tend to be a lot better out of the box. So less work needs to be done on a lot of them, not all of them. But at a certain level, I think you're getting a much better quality guitar than you ever did before. So it's possible that you've been lucky, I would say. So just keep it on. Once you check it and you're happy, that's all that matters. Scott Bogman says, Dave said we are welcome. Indeed. Just going to leave it at that. Glenn says, the only Gibson poster I have has 4 players, Pete Townsend, Bob Marley, Jimmy Page, and Jimi Hendrix playing a V. Oh yeah, they like sharing that picture of Jimmy with his V. But I mean, at least he was seen playing flying V's at points, a flying V at points. Just obviously more famous for playing a Telecaster. Ryan Burns says, I never thought it would be worth getting a plec. Proper fret job would be just as good. Maybe if it had a twist or something. That was kind of hard to work out. Yeah, that's kind of what I would have thought, to be honest. I've thought about doing it, but then at the end of the day, it's another 250 euros on top of the price of a guitar. And if I was spending a couple of grand, maybe I'd make it more necessary than anything under 1,000. Number 1 says, luckily changing out a toggle switch is pretty easy, yeah, and there's good access to the back and they're cheap, even the good ones. That's true. Number 1, yeah, absolutely. Jess says, Dave, they're a Haribo factory just off the M62 in Yorkshire. I think we know what we need to do, Jess. We need to go to Yorkshire to get some Haribos. That is the road trip I would take, let's be honest. But there we go. Toman, do a deal. Go to Yorkshire, do the deal, get the Haribos, put them in the guitar boxes. I know your stickers that say, in case of emergency, save my guitars is funny, but they've been around for years. You need to change it up. Put some sweets in there. You're probably not allowed to put beer in, so put some sweets in. It'd be great. But really, they have a factory in Yorkshire. That's interesting. It's interesting. I have an auntie who's from Yorkshire, so maybe I can get some Haribos. As a 42-year-old, if I called my auntie, it was like, hey, believe they make Haribos where you come from? Would you go get me some? Can imagine the response I would get. Ryan Byrne says, that's cool, Glenn. Didn't Marley play a Washburn? Yeah, I think so. The send one says, surely all guitars should be plecked. Send them out the best they can be. If only that was the world we lived in. But it's not. Yeah, that would be nice. Marley played a Les Paul Special, I believe. Indeed, that was what he'd be most famous for, I would imagine. But he had I had a number of guitars he would have played, but yeah, definitely the special will be the most famous. Just like John Lennon's probably later in these years played mostly like that Les Paul special, but people remember him a lot more for obviously playing the Casino or the Rickenbackers back in the day. When he was in that band, what's it called? The Beatles. Um, Anyways, Advo says, why are some guitar are so nice low action when they're very cheap? Uh, well, low action depends on how it's set up, really, isn't it? Unless I'm missing something, which is very possible. When I got my Strat Plex as Rob F, it was $250 and came with $50 bonus bucks, and I used against my first amp since it included a setup $60 at the time. The net was 140. Not bad. Not bad. Glenn says Bob played in the Les Paul special. Not sure what son Ziggy played. Couldn't tell you either. Formerly known as T says we would know if it was an AI Dave. He would play 5 chords. Damn it. Everybody says if unlimited time and money, what race would your personal luthier be? Annie, that's not. Yeah, I'm not getting dragged into that on YouTube. That this thing gets recorded. I would be cancelled quicker than Muddy H2O at a bachelor party. Scott Bogford says Brian May Epiphone red in color Les Paul special power players pack. Oh, the red special Les Paul crossover. That could be fun, actually. Oh, that's got me thinking. That would be interesting. Yeah, because they don't really make those kind of single coil pick. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation to come, but that'd be fun. Let's see. Well, what else have we got? Because we're approaching the end, so let's see what we can get. Marge says my friend had her McCarthy 594 SE Plex when Sweetwater had a deal. I played it. Plays like butter. But to be fair, I'd have to play another that was not Plex to know if it was Plec or good QC. I'm probably gonna lean on good QC, but you never know. Scott Bogwood says I could actually see Brian May playing a Melody Maker or Olympic. Interesting shouts. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean those would have the right kind of pickups and everything, I suppose. Or well, style pickups. But there you go. But also Gibson's Plec machine is not the same as the ones retailers and shops use. It's not actually setting up the guitar to the same level of detail. I watched several videos explaining that. Interesting. I didn't. So I'll take your word for it. Scott Bogman says more chords, Dave. There we go. I'll be honest with you, guys. I like the name 3-Chord Dave for several reasons, but one of the best reasons and the biggest reasons I like the name 3-Chord Dave is that some people actually think I only play 3 chords. When obviously I play 3.5. So come on. It's pretty funny though. Like people get genuinely serious about it in comment sections and so forth at times. I've had people email me. I had one person email me a whole rant about how I should like learn new chords. Genuinely. And it wasn't a sarcastic thing. It was like, if you are telling people on YouTube what to do, you should know this. All right, buddy. Anyways, don't take life so seriously, my friends. Marsha, that's likely because Gibson has a default setup, which of course isn't to everyone's preference, but Gibson's Plec should get all the frets flat. Says Muddy, and Gibby also doesn't really crown their frets. Also says that's what Muddy says. Fister says maybe Dave's beard could start the second channel. I'm still dead certain it's a sentient and using Dave as a host. That is supposed to be secret, sir. You're not supposed to know. But yeah, all hail the beard, sentient being. Marcia says, I think the Gibson Plec machines are mostly being used to diagnose major issues when the tech notices problems, but don't think they're really setting them up in the way they want people to believe. Okay. Jess says maybe relaunch as 4-Chord Dave when you steal all our money starting a cult. Jess, steal is a very loaded word. I think we all should agree donations are not stolen. The cult is a bad word as well. I think we should just say community and leave it at that. But yeah, your contributions will be be appreciated. Don't forget to bring your own Kool-Aid as well. Marshall says it could take them too long to use a Plek machine to set up each and every guitar. It takes too long to run the factory. Guitars would never leave. I mean, they would leave. They wouldn't keep them forever. Um, I honestly don't know how Gibson have it set up, but I have seen that they Plek every guitar that leaves the factory floor. I don't know how they do it or what they do with it or whether it's set up this way or that way or whatever, but it definitely feel like it's a thing to do. Nella's here. Great to see you, Nella. Hope you're well. Says I made the show, barely was goofing around and lost track of time. No worries, I was goofing around here, so you can catch up on YouTube if you choose to another time, but it's great to see you. Nella also says Plek isn't necessary if the guitar is made with care in the first place. Yeah, but a lot of people are talking about Gibson, so we know. I'm not going to finish that sentence. I want to interview Cesar, so we'll see if that ever happens. Which of course probably won't. Plek will guitar to its best playability. That mightn't be what you want. Better telling your tech what you like, in my opinion. Says T, which I don't disagree with. I think that's actually on point, to be quite honest with you. Scott says, I always thought the best thing about Plek guitars is that you know exactly how the guitar is when factory fresh for resetting purposes. Interesting. Muddy says, yeah, they should ask you that, Rob, since the tech does actually set up after the Plek. Oh, hang on, I missed one. Describing what setup you want, you wish, and choosing strings was part of the input Sweetwater asked for when I had the Strat Pleked. There you go. Yeah, and that's what money means. So that makes sense. Looks like it works both ways then. Interesting. Let me see. Oh, load of comments. How far away? There we go. There's. I know the next comment was the sent one. I'm near the Haribo factory. No worries, I get some Plek ones sent out for you, Dave. Thanks to sent one. I appreciate that, sir. Very, very kind of you. Now it says, don't eat a bunch of the sugar-free Haribos. Why would, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Rob says, I'm jealous. Said when I live for Haribo gummies, and they're good, man. They are addictive, I think. It's fine. It's 25% of my grocery budget. Haribos. It's not. It's like 40%. What he says, Rob, they may do a basic setup prior to putting it in the Plek, mainly getting the neck straight. The Plek machine can tell them the straight height of the frets and how much they need to cut in a nut slot, and get the ideal string height for your ideal string height if you tell them. There you go. Ryan says, I wore my Beatles Abbey Road t-shirt today. Girl at the store thought the band was called the Beltless. dear God. Anyways, Rob says, I do know that they had to kill a set of my selected strings as part of the Plek. Interesting. Muddy with a late super chat, because we're about to wrap up the show, says Dave asked for a Plek at his last haircut appointment. That might be true. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But yeah, be careful what you're asking for. It's good advice from Muddy. So I'm glad you highlighted that on the super chat so that everyone definitely saw it. I appreciate that, sir. Well done. Marcia says, people clearly respect the email for business queries only thing. They do not. No. I get a lot of spam, and I get a lot of nonsense contacts. I also get a lot of shady sponsorship recommendations, or what is it, like approaches. No word of a lie, I've had hair growth products, or what was it, like hair saving products and stuff like that, like stop your hair from falling out. maybe not the best channel for that, sirs. Uh, and I've had a few other crazy ones. Yeah, those kind of things. So if I a lot of times I miss emails because there's just so much crap goes in there. I do my best to keep an eye on it. Jess says, Dave, can't believe you know more than three chords. I feel lied to. I'm sorry, Jess. Not really. You know, I never use more than two and a half. Muddy says he actually only knows two chords. Hey, it's we don't need to get into this, right? It's too late in the stream for me to go into it. Fister says, Dave, blink twice if the beard is holding you against your will. I can't blink. So, yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Benny says, oh, hang on. We were, it's the half chord in E minor. T. Ooh, couldn't tell you. What was it in Friends? Phoebe called all the chords like the bear claw, the old lady stuff. Yeah, bear claw. That's the one. Sounds cool. Scott Box says Chord Dave guitar teaching course. Just 16 simple videos. You can learn all three. Come on, Scott. That's a bit ambitious. 16 videos, at least 42 different videos of an hour long each. Got to sell the course, you know. It's got to be $99, cut down to 47, so that $599, cut down to 97, cut down to 47, so that it's good value. Yeah, that's a thing. Anyways, Benny says it's not a cult, it's a sect. There you go, Dave. Also, shout out to Todd Moore if watching. Indeed, all the shout outs to Todd Moore. And yeah, thanks for the correction, Benny. That works a lot better. It's a sect. I like it. T says, don't sign up for it. It's a scam. Thanks, T. That's you off my Christmas card list. Saturday night's debating Plek. What have we become? This place used to be wall-to-wall Steel Panther and GH chat. It actually was. It's calmed down. I think everyone's matured. I think that's what it is. I'm just gonna. Thankfully, it's towards the end of the show, so we're not gonna. Hopefully, we won't get into it too much. Todd Moore says, Benny, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you and all the Chord Dave cult. I mean, family. Yeah, family. Scott. Todd. There we go. T says, Muddy, you should have got the beard plecked. I'll get sin bin for that. Yes, definitely. If it wasn't the end of the show, T, you would be in trouble, but it's fine. And no Glenn style sin binning for you. Not tonight. I'll unbin you, T. You actually can't. It's not possible. So yeah, I've tried. I put Glenn into what do you call it, a timeout once. Tried to take him out and it wouldn't let me. So I overrule you. So I overpower you as on the YouTube channel. So if I can't do it, you can't. I think. Rob says, thank you, Dave. As always, enjoyed the stream. Have a great week, my friends. Best wishes and good stuff. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Todd Moore says Benny. We got take care, my friend. Says Muddy, which is interesting. He said it, of course, to Rob. Helsinki Formula says Ryan. Todd says peace and love to everyone here, and thank you, Dave, for another fun-filled Saturday. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it. Now let's just hit the like button, indeed, and we've got all the goodbyes and all that sort of stuff. Jess says, where can I sign up to the 3 chord lessons? It's €99 an intro offer. It is an intro offer for everybody who signs up in the 21st century. So get on it now before time runs out. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. As always, it's fun hanging out with you on a Saturday. I love it. And we had a good one. So all the chats and stuff. Thank you to all the guys doing the super chats. I got some videos. So the chat that I did with Mike from Upstairs to the Right Music, we had to re-record it. We did it this week. It should be out on all the platforms on Monday, YouTube on Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. That's definitely coming. And then if the Epiphone 345 comes in and it's actually not an empty box that they sent me, I will show it to you as well. Also, make sure you follow me on the Instagrams, and that's the only thing I have. Join the Facebook group. The links are in the description. Do all the things. I'll be back with another guitar related video very soon. But my friends, until then, take care.